Midnight in a dense, fog-filled forest. A solitary figure pedaling a vintage bicycle emerges from the gloom, its bell ringing sharply. The rider delivers cursed letters to those desperate enough to trade their lives for quick cash. Deep in another part of the jungle, a woman stands alone over an ancient, freezing stone well. She drops a glowing lantern into the abyss, completing a dark ritual that will cost her village its soul. And drifting through the village square, 4 men in heavy brown robes carry a wooden coffin. If you catch sight of their glowing red eyes, they drag you into the fog, never to be seen again. When we hear these rural Indian folklore tales, it is easy to write off the entities as chaotic monsters lurking in the dark, designed simply to scare disobedient children or keep villagers indoors at night. This balance scale diagram illustrates the mechanism of karma. For every human transgression that weighs down one side, the universe generates a specific supernatural consequence on the other to maintain cosmic balance. These entities are the ultimate enforcers of that debt. Take the story of the rural dakgar, or post office. Every time a new postmaster arrives to work at this isolated building, they are terrorized by a phantom bicycle rider. Most flee the very next day. Those who stay end up dead. The rider lures people into the jungle late at night by dropping letters on their doorsteps. The letters promise 5,000 rupees for a single night's work, specifically preying on villagers who are starved for cash and willing to do anything to get it. But the rider is actually Aryaman, the village's original postmaster. He was an innocent, hard-working man who saved his earnings for years to buy a large home for his widowed mother. That home was owned by the village mukhya, the highest authority in town. Instead of selling the property fairly, the mukhya and his men murdered Aryaman, stole his life savings, and they dumped his lifeless body beneath the roots of a giant banyan tree. The phantom rider does not kill at random. By targeting the greedy and the corrupt with the promise of easy money, Aryaman's spirit forces the village to confront the mukhya's crime and expose the truth of his own murder. In the village of Chandipur, we see a different kind of transgression. A woman named Chandravati watches her husband, Ramesh, vomit blood. The local physician confirms the illness is fatal and beyond any human cure. Rather than accept his natural fate, Chandravati ventures out at midnight to a cursed jungle well. She drops her lantern and glasses into the freezing water, completing a forbidden dark magic ritual. The next morning, Ramesh is perfectly healthy, but the man sitting on the porch is devoid of his soul. His eyes glow red, and he sits motionless, a hollow shell occupied by a terrifying entity. To keep him alive, Chandravati hangs a dark talisman over their door. The presence of this unnatural force immediately paralyzes the village. As the sun sets, the streets empty completely, and neighbors cower in their homes, terrified of the evil that now lives next door. By using dark magic to cheat death, Chandravati doomed her entire community. She forced innocent people to live in perpetual terror, paying the price for her refusal to let nature take its course. Our final story goes back 4 centuries ago, to the sprawling palace of King Vishwajit. The king marries a beautiful woman named Damayanti, but Damayanti is actually a 100-year-old Dayan, a witch. To maintain her youthful appearance, she must bathe in the blood of 11 corpses before the next moon. Blinded by his obsession with her beauty, the king orders his soldiers to intercept deceased villagers before their families can perform their final rites. He delivers the bodies directly to his queen, so they can be butchered for her vanity. Desperate to give their loved ones peace, 4 brave men organize a secret burial party in the middle of the night. But the king's guards catch them in the act and slaughter all 4 of them. Those 4 murdered men become the Nishar Molo. Trapped in a loop, their spirits continue carrying a coffin through the night. Because they died a violent, sudden death, they don't realize they are dead, and they drag away anyone they perceive as the king's guards who are trying to stop them. The king sacrificed his own people just to keep his wife young. That absolute abuse of power birthed a curse so potent that it outlasted his entire kingdom,
leaving innocent descendants to pay for his vanity 400 years later.
Across all three of these tales, the pattern is clear. The true horrors are the corrupt chief, the desperate wife, and the vain king. In Indian folklore, horror operates as a strict moral compass. These stories are passed down to remind us that human actions have inescapable consequences, and dark secrets will eventually claw their way to the surface. This flowchart tracks the timeline of cosmic justice. It shows how crossing a severe moral boundary, like murder or denying the dead their rights, creates a fracture in the natural order. In response, the universe spawns a supernatural enforcer designed strictly to close the loop. A bicycle bell in the woods or a coffin emerging from the fog marks the exact moment the universe settles a score. These signs represent the arrival of an inevitable cosmic justice. In the world of Indian folklore, the innocent have absolutely nothing to fear in the dark. The only time you need to be terrified is if you have a debt to pay.